There is this outstanding companion, Sayyiduna Mus ibn Umair, raḍiyallāhu anhu. He was this young man in Mecca. When he heard about the Prophet ﷺ saying that he is a prophet and people should follow him. Now Sayyiduna Mus was like a superstar in Mecca. He came from nobility, noble family. His parents were wealthy, his family, wealth, and so he lived a luxurious life, and so on. He walked in the street, he's handsome, people look up to him, they respected him, he was intelligent, and then he heard about the Prophet ﷺ saying he's a prophet, and he's telling people, La ilaha illallah. And he heard that they were meeting in the home of a companion. And so Sayyidina Mus went there, met the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet told him about Islam, and immediately, in his first meeting with the Prophet ﷺ, he accepted Islam. So he accepted Islam. But he was afraid of his mother, who was very powerful, a very strong personality. And so he said he would hide his Islam from his mother. He was afraid of her, of how she'd respond. But then soon thereafter, she found out, and she locked him up in his home, tied him up, confined him in his home. And then later he heard about Muslims going to Abyssinia on the Hijrah. And he escaped from his home and he joined those Muslims to be from among that party that made the first Hijrah to Abyssinia. Then they came back to Mecca, they made Hijrah to Medina, he was there also, but there's something important before that Hijrah. In the 10th year of prophethood, before the Prophet made Hijrah, the Prophet selected Sayyidina Mus ibn Umair to go to Medina to be the first ambassador of Islam, preparing the way for the Prophet ﷺ to migrate to Medina. Took part in all the battles, the major battles, Badr, the Battle of Uhud came, Ghazwatu Uhud, and the Prophet selected him as the torch-bearer, the standard-bearer of the Muslim flag, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. He's carrying that at Uhud. Flag in one hand, sword in another hand, defending the Prophet ﷺ. Sayyidina Mus'ab, in that battle, when the Quraysh had the upper hand, they cut off his right hand. He held the standard, the flag, in his left hand. His left hand was cut off. He held it in the stump of his hand. And he kept reciting words. وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ. He kept reciting these words. Later on, after the battle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed these words to become part of the Qur'an. And he extended the ayah. The same verse that was recited by Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq upon the passing of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sayyidina Mus'ab ibn Umair. And then finally he was killed at Uhud. Right hand cut off, left hand cut off, spears all over his body. Then after the battle, the Prophet ﷺ is searching among the dead. The Prophet ﷺ was sad because many of the Muhajireen died at Uhud, those who migrated. But when he saw Mus'ab, he started to cry. Because he remembered what Mus'ab did for Islam. Living in luxury in Mecca. And then he accepted Islam and he became poor. When he died at Uhud, a martyr, he only had one piece of clothing he was wearing. When the Sahabas, they prepared the martyrs for janazah, for burial, when the Sahabas tried to cover his feet, his head was exposed. That's the only piece of clothing he had. When they tried to cover his head, his feet was exposed. They asked the Prophet what to do. The Prophet said, cover his head with his gang and cover his feet with leaves from the tree. The Prophet cried. when he prayed over Mus'ab. Because Mus'ab was this great example of men who were truthful in their promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٌ صَدَقُوا مَا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ. This ayah was revealed for him. From among the believers are men who are truthful in their promise with Allah. When they say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, they live those words in their life.